Folks, let's go over the very important stimulus check information that you have to know. President Biden is now urging Congress to pass his economic plans after a weak jobs report. President Biden said this, everybody. He told reporters that our country needs these investments. President Biden pushed Congress to pass his economic plans to boost sluggish job growth. Democrats are trying to approve two bills that would together invest more than $4 trillion in infrastructure and climate policy and the social safety net. Biden's comments come a day after Democratic Senator Joe Manchin called for his party, the Democratic Party that is, to delay its consideration of the $3.5 trillion budget resolution. What are your thoughts on President Biden, everybody? Is he doing all that it takes to send out the 4th stimulus payments? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.
High-quality child care options should be the rule, not the exception. So on my way here, I met with Mike Sayre, who wrote me a letter about his struggle to find affordable child care.
The president made his case for spending on infrastructure, climate policy, and the social safety net, after the Labor Department said the country added only 235,000 jobs in August. The figure fell well short of the 720,000 jobs the economists had expected. Our country needs these investments, Biden said. I'm not asking for anything other than some fairness being injected back into the system. Biden stressed that he does not see the investments as a short-term stimulus, while the country emerges from the crisis shadow. He said the proposals are designed to create long-term prosperity for Americans. The president's push for his economic agenda comes after Joe Manchin has complicated his party's plans to pass it in Congress.
Middle-class families will pay no more than 7% of their income for high-quality child care for children up to age 5. And those hard-pressed working families won't have to pay a dime. My plan will also invest in child care workforce with better wages, benefits, and training opportunities. Look,
Manchin, whose vote Democrats will need to approve the $3.5 trillion bill, urged congressional leaders to pause consideration of the measure. The senator who helped negotiate the Senate-passed infrastructure bill cited inflation and long-term debt as reasons for delay. He did not rule out voting for a proposal that costs less than $3.5 trillion. Pelosi has said that she will not hold a vote on the infrastructure legislation until the Senate passes Democrats' spending plan. After centrists in her caucus threatened to hold up the budget bill, Pelosi made a non-binding commitment to consider the bipartisan bill by September 27th. In a Thursday Twitter post after Manchin announced his stance, Bernie Sanders said the fates of two economic plans are tied. No infrastructure bill without the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill is what Bernie Sanders said. Pelosi and the White House hope to fully offset the spending through tax increases on the wealthy and corporations, among other measures.
In the middle of a time when senior poverty is increasing, Republicans and some Democrats came up with a brilliant idea for cutting cost of living adjustments.
Democrats could also consider taxes on companies with runaway CEO pay and businesses that repurchase a substantial amount of stock. Republicans have cited proposed tax hikes and the overall $3.5 trillion price tag in opposing the package. Biden on Friday framed tax increases on the wealthy and corporations as a way to create a fairer economy. He repeated his pledge not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000. Biden said, to those big corporations that don't want things to change, my message is this: it's time for working families, the folks who build this country, to have their taxes cut, and those corporation interests doing everything they can to find allies in Congress to keep that from happening. I'm going to take them on, he said. What are your thoughts on President Biden, folks? Tell me in the comments below. And if you found this video in any way useful or helpful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, have a great day.
Black and Native American mothers disproportionately. And I want to thank Congresswoman Underwood for her leadership in this area. That's for real. As I've said again and again, people who really need a tax break in this country are America's working families. It's time they get a tax break. So my Build Back Better agenda would extend expanded child care tax credit we passed under my American Rescue Plan. Those of you who have children under the age of 7, you're going to get and depending on your income and your income taxes, you're going to get a cash payment back. Up to now, guess what? You get $2,000 to declare a dependent, If you have 2 children, you get $4,000 off a $10,000 tax bill. It's important. But if you don't make enough money to be able to owe that kind of tax, you don't get a tax credit, you don't get anything. Well, under this proposal, guess what? You're in a situation where if you have a child under the age of 7, you get back $3,600 in cash. In addition to that, those of you who are in that situation are going to start to see that coming in by the end of this month on a monthly basis. It can change the lives of people. Starting next week, families will begin to receive one of the largest ever single-year tax cuts aimed at families with children. And every child under the age of 6 is $3,600. Every child between 6 and 17 is $3,000. It's not as a credit against your taxes, but as a direct payment. You'll get cash. Cash. That's what we'll get. For example, a middle-class family with 2 children can expect to receive $7,200. You get the first half, the $3,600 paid out, at $600 a month between July and December, and you get the rest between January and tax day. With this one tax cut, every study shows that child care is cutting poverty in half, by 40%. Families with children who qualify for this, it cuts poverty by 40%. So let's extend the tax cut at least through 2025. And let's expand free meals for millions more children in school. With the assistance during the summer months when they don't have access to those school meals. We support families with children. We also need to provide greater dignity for our nation's senior citizens who care for them. And so we can end up with 4 million fewer jobs this year, according to Moody's, a Wall Street firm, and it could take a year longer to return to full employment if we don't act now.
It was a team effort for us to win the vote. I want to salute Steny Hoyer, our distinguished Majority Leader, Mr. Clyburn, our distinguished Whip, Catherine Clark, Assistant Speaker, and all of the members of the leadership who worked so hard on this. Because it wasn't just about that vote, it's about how we proceed and make it the law within the next couple of months, 6 weeks, whatever. Really, the vision of the president, he had said, I want to do what I can in a bipartisan way on infrastructure, but it is not the totality of my vision. My vision is to build back better, not only with physical infrastructure, but with personal infrastructure. I'm paraphrasing now, that wasn't a direct quote. And so in our legislation, we deal with the climate crisis in a more important way. We will deal with the building back better for women, and we're talking about child care and child tax credit, universal pre-K, home health